Hey everybody, Kingsley Ma here, Director of REMAX of Western Canada. This is actually episode 3 of Carpool Interview. In fact, this will be the last one for 2018. That's why I'm sporting this red clothing here, just so that we're a little bit more festive. Our special guest today is actually a very big influencer in the real estate business in Canada. In fact, he was ranked as one of the most powerful individuals in residential real estate in North America earlier this year, and his name, our very own Elton Ash, Executive Vice President of REMAX of Western Canada. So let's pick it up and have a conversation and see what's in store. All right, let's go pick up Elton. Hey Elton.
Hello
How
there.
you doing?
Good.
Wow, I thought I was going festive. Look at you.
Yeah, I got my REMAX Christmas sweater on. It's kind of
gotta
wintry out there. It's
I
gonna
gotta get one of those. Yeah. Seatbelts on, safety first.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming.
with you driving, yeah, I guess I'm gonna
Probably.
put my seatbelt
Probably
on.
a good idea.
There we go.
So how's your day?
Going good. Got
Good.
the press initiative going today, so lots of radio and newspaper interviews going on.
Wow.
Everyone wants to know what's going on in the market.
It's been quite the crazy year for 2018. So actually, in fact, then let's start off with that. So maybe perhaps recap, what happened in 2018 in terms of REMAX and what we've accomplished and so forth.
Well, 2018's been an exciting year for us. We started off the year with a great REMAX.ca tool that I was really excited about and remain excited about. It's the property valuation tool. Gives consumers the opportunity to go on to REMAX.ca
Right.
and look up what the value of their home is. Now, unfortunately, it's just in British Columbia, but we're working with getting it available across the region and across Canada. So looking forward to growth in that for 2019.
That'd be nice.
But that to me has been the really exciting part. Today it's all about consumer empowerment, because without that on your website, the consumers won't spend any time there. But and then consumer reviews, getting that more incorporated onto REMAX.ca. Again, it's all about the consumer and how they select a realtor, and we know REMAX realtors are the best in the industry. So we just have to get those consumer reviews up there, and that'll generate more leads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, reviews is a big thing, and no matter if it's restaurants or any other services that you're looking at, hotels or anything like that, that's something that consumers really look into.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So now that we talked a little bit about what we've accomplished, so thinking about the future a little bit here, what do you foresee in terms of the overall market in Western Canada in 2019?
Well, and that's what I've been responding to a lot of media interviews about this morning about. And as we look forward, it's a bit of a mixed bag across the country. Certainly British Columbia government intervention has had a large effect to the provincial real estate marketplace, with the increase to the foreign buyer tax going to 20%.
Yeah.
The so-called speculation tax that affects Vancouver, the lower mainland, Victoria, Nanaimo, and Kelowna, West Kelowna, that has had some negative effects to the market. And then, of course, I think the biggest effect that's been going on nationally has been the B20 mortgage qualification procedures, which are much stiffer than they have been in the past.
Right.
And so that in and of itself, the mortgage qualification has had a pretty tempering effect on real estate markets nationally. And then in BC, with the other government interventions, along with the regulatory changes in British Columbia, has really affected things right across the board. And then we get to Alberta, with the resource sector not recovering as we thought that it would this year. And in fact, the discount on Alberta crude is deepened, which is not good news for the oil patch and for the Alberta economy, and that same for Saskatchewan.
And that will reflect back into the real estate market too.
The real outlier is Winnipeg and Manitoba. They're kind of bucking the trend for the end of this year going into 19. We're actually predicting a 4% price increase for Winnipeg.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I did a live interview with a radio station in Winnipeg today, and they were quite surprised by that. But as I pointed out, people from Toronto and Vancouver want to move to Winnipeg. They get 15,000 incoming residents into the province each year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and cheaper pricing, great lifestyle.
Yeah,
and
hopefully they process all the permits, the building permits, faster too.
Yeah, exactly. So 2019 is going to be a bit of a, I would say, more balanced year across the market. We're going to see about a 1.7% average price increase nationally. As I say, Winnipeg about 4% up in 19. Saskatchewan will be probably, flat, maybe a 2% price decrease. Alberta is kind of be a bit across, probably about a 3 to 4% price decrease provincially as we look through to Edmonton and Calgary. And then Vancouver, we're looking at about a 3% price decrease for the year.
And for those, I guess, overall, the market-wise across Western Canada, we have to kind of hold our hands and kind of go through it together, right? Because of the uncertainty that a lot of the government regulations. Well,
everything goes in cycles, and we'd all be foolish to think that we'd have, a continuous up sellers kind of market. Sooner or later, the cycle's going to turn, and despite government intervention, it has to happen sooner or later. And I think that's
true.
It's healthy for the market to come to a more balanced situation. Certainly, I think we need a flush in the real estate industry. We have a lot of people that have come into the business, and a lot of part-timers. People, the average transactions per realtors in the industry is really low, and has gotten lower because of all the people getting into the business. So it's good news for REMAX sales associates to see a bit of a change in the cycle, and as I say, create a bit of a flush.
So, because the true professionals will always be good at what they do.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
No matter what trend it goes.
When the markets are good, Mr. and Mrs. Smith living on the street can just list their home with a nice little lady down the street because they know they're going to get multiple offers. Doesn't matter. Right. But when the market gets tough, they look for the good realtors, and we always shine.
Exactly. So, what's REMAX has in store in terms of 2019 to help the REMAX agents across Western Canada, or in fact around the globe?
Well, when we talk about the whole network, the big exciting news for us has been the Bouge acquisition that we did a year ago in buying a technology company that is now dedicated to building technological platforms for all our affiliates, whether that's the broker owners and office systems or the sales associates. The newest platform that will be coming out, and it will be announced at R4, so hopefully it's not much, I don't think it's that big a secret.
And that's coming in February.
Yeah, and that's going to be a CRM package. Now, for Canada, that will follow a little bit later, which is good news because they'll get the kinks worked out. Whenever there's a new platform, there's always kinks. That just is the way it is. So the good news is when we get it later in the year, it'll be operating smoothly. And that's going to be a great benefit for our membership. So that'll be the first kickoff. And really what we're looking at now is integration with all our platforms, and that all our affiliates are able to, from the end-to-end process, from the time that lead is generated through Lead Street to the paying out of the commission after the home is completed, to have an end-to-end package that's fully integrated with the consumer, the sales associate, and the broker owner.
And I like the fact that REMAX owns Bouge, so it's not a third-party company, right? So things get done a lot more efficiently.
And better planning. That's the big thing. Exactly. And then, for the rest of the outlook for 19 for us, we're going to be bringing on a learning development specialist, a new staff member, new team member that's going to be dedicated to traveling throughout the region. They're going to be on the road a lot, visiting offices, holding orientation training sessions, because I think the biggest challenge we have is that many of our sales associates simply aren't aware of all the tools that we have, and that it's important that they do get oriented to the tools and then get trained on how to use them effectively. Because obviously, technology, social media platforms, these are the tools that are needed today and that can be leveraged to make your own time much more efficient and productive.
Right.
And so we're really excited to have that individual, he or she, come on board. We're just starting that search process now to bring someone into the regional office to start traveling.
And that would actually be great, because there's so much with REMAX that it's good that we're taking the information, the value to the people, right?
Absolutely.
So that's very important.
Yeah, the showcase tour earlier this fall in Winnipeg, Saskatoon, and Regina really pointed out to us the importance and the need for this type of thing.
Yeah. So as you mentioned earlier, that how the market's getting a little slower in most parts of the Western Canada. What would be your, I guess, if you were to give a tip to the real estate agents in the industry, what would be something that you would offer to them in terms of getting through this tough times?
Yeah, well, I've been licensed for nearly 40 years, and when I was first licensed in 1981, it was a pretty tough market. 21% interest rates, a lot of bank foreclosures. It was tough times, and so when you're starting out in that kind of a time period, you really learn that you have to work hard and work effectively and productively. And that's really, as the cycle starts to turn, there's no secret to this business. It really is all about how you work your spheres of influence, how you connect with people, and then following through with that, and sales skills. Real estate and sales agents are really what you're doing. You're counseling your customers and your clients when they're selling their home on marketing it and pricing it, when they're buying a home on helping them find the right home that's suitable for them. But you're really helping them make that decision. And that's really what strong sales skills are all about, is really understanding your customer and your client, and then helping them make one of those most important decisions that they'll make for their family. And so if you keep that in mind, like an old Xerox client told me years ago, close hard and close often.
Close hard, close often.
We are in a sales business, and it is helping people make that decision. But getting to that point, of course, is all about prospecting. The old adage of seeing 20 people every day, belly button to belly button, whether that's through your social media platforms, digitally, getting belly button to belly button that way, or whether it's through analog, the old-fashioned way, and that's open houses, talking to your spheres of influence, meeting with them, doing the drop-bys, your past clients, with calendars coming up at the end of the year, exactly, wearing your balloon pin and name tag, and being positive. I remember in one tough cycle of listing a customer's home, became a client, and they said to me, Elton, you're the first person who's been real positive that said they could really sell this house and do us a great job. Everyone else we talked to was all negative and down the dumps, how tough the market was, and you came in positive, and that's really what it's all about, is your own mental attitude, how you approach things, and
you got to be confident in what you do.
Exactly,
right?
Keeping that point of view where it needs to be.
Yeah, because if you're not confident, you're not going to be able to convince anybody.
That's right.
Exactly. And actually, one point you brought up that was really good is that real estate agents offer, I guess, advice to either a seller or a buyer, right? And I think it's very important for those real estate agents to, especially times like this, to get themselves more educated, to get themselves more properly trained.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, what you're offering is knowledge and your experience to things, right? And there's really no specific one book that tells all in terms of selling real estate. So the more real estate agent can attend, either training seminars or anything like that, the more it'll help them with their business.
Yeah, and when things slow down, it's the ideal time. When the markets have been as crazy as they have been the last few years, it's very difficult to really get that time off, and now it's a great opportunity to do that. The more you learn, the more you earn, and that's been proven statistically. over the years.
Exactly.
And so it's ideal. But yeah, I think going forward, 2019 is going to be a more traditional year of real estate sales when we look at long-term averages. It's not going to be the wild, crazy, multiple offer situations that we've seen, which is very stressful as well. I mean, you kind of can go from one end to the next. You know, you go from a full seller's market to, and then we're not going to go to a full buyer's market where we're seeing price corrections. We're just going to see a balanced market, but it is going to weed the masses out a bit.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, I think so. Well, thank you for your time. But you know, this is a carpool interview. So, and you know, this is also considered as a carpool karaoke. I know singing is probably not your forte, but you know, as part of the carpool karaoke, you have to sing. And I'm sure some of the audience here would love to see you sing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So I've got this song prepared for you, and there's no way that you don't know how to sing this song. So we're gonna do it.
Oh yeah, it's the one Christmas carol I kind of know, isn't that? Yeah. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, we all go, laughing all the way. Just to ride and sing
a song tonight.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, bad, man.
Thank you.
I think that's enough.